heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say.
I'm ready to roll if they need me.
Now listen here, Dutch. Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! What we got? 302BIRDS, you know stinks. Go Birds! Oh my gosh, chat.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
This week, the Eagles go down to Baltimore for the Battle of the Year. What's going on, Eagles fans? My name is Dalton, joined by Jack, Josh, KJ, Ballpark Tommy, and the whole crew. But welcome to another episode of 302BIRDS. If you guys wondering why we're recording on a Tuesday night, going up on a Tuesday, the point is tomorrow night is probably the biggest drinking night of the year. Everybody on this podcast will probably be trying to go to a bar or at a bar. And with that being said, for viewership, for safety, and a lot of other reasons, we decided let's just try out a Tuesday podcast. So that's why you're hearing us tonight. If you can share it up, that would be a big help. But other than that, we're going to get right into our call-ins. Who's actually an in-house call-in? I want to take a second to thank Joey Havens for everything that he does for this podcast. He holds it down on our graphics. So if you guys wonder how the magic happens, it's from Havens.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is, but their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless, go Birds.
Yeah, if you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo burrito place. We got Joe Havens on tonight. How you doing, Joe?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. I'm doing good. You know, getting ready, excited for this holiday coming up in 2 days. Can't
definitely.
really wait. Gonna get pretty hammered tomorrow night. But what do you got for us tonight?
So, I don't know. Did you guys see the video of Brandon Graham on 94 WIP this morning and his injury? Like talking about it and kind of getting emotional.
I did.
So
Yeah.
When I saw that this morning, the first thing I thought about was like, we got such a, like, I know I'm going to kind of tie two sports here together. We got such a big, like, disconnect in Philadelphia where it's like, it seems like our football team, they want to play, they want to win, they want to so bad. And then you got the basketball team with Joel Embiid and all that drama going on. It just seems like there's such a disconnect on what's going on in all of our sports. And I don't even know. I just feel like as a sports fan in Philadelphia, it's like, man, I don't even care about the Sixers anymore. It's strictly Eagles after this.
Yeah,
You know, that truly does break my heart seeing him tear up and get emotional because we know Brandon Graham, how emotionless he is, but seeing him kind of end his career by one game. He's not done yet, but it's going to be 6 weeks of recovery.
He's back for the playoffs.
After the surgery. He may be back for the Super Bowl. But seeing a player like that who's been on the team for 15 seasons, 13 seasons, 15 seasons, whatever, it's rough because he's kind of that heart and soul in that D-line. And he said we're still going to, we still have one more, mission, and that's win the Super Bowl. So seeing him get emotional breaks my heart. I teared up a little bit tonight. But, I mean, it goes to show how passionate, out of all the, I would say, of the Philadelphia fan base's teams, the Eagles are to play for that team, especially playing for Nick Sirianni, because we have said that, a lot of people are not liking Nick Sirianni, but these players are passionate, and this is our year. It comes in threes, you know what I mean? 2017, we won the Super Bowl. 2020, we lost the Super Bowl. 2024, we're going to be in the Super Bowl. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'll say this. Yeah, I agree. I know that there's a lot of people right now that are very angry at the Sixers and people are boycotting the Sixers. I get that, and that makes a lot of sense. Me personally, I cannot do that. I'm always going to be a basketball fan, so it's kind of hard for me to boycott a team I grew up loving. And obviously, the organization isn't really trying to have a product out there, especially they're honestly, they're trying to sell us a product that is just broken. And that's what this is. This team is broken right now because even though Jared McCain is making history right now, Tyrese Maxey is also doing great as well. But you have the two supposed superstars that were supposed to lead this team this year in Paul George and Joel Embiid, and they are not there. So back to what we were saying, I mean, like, I think with that, though, Joel thinks he does so much for the city. He thinks he does this and that. He doesn't do anything, really. He's won an MVP trophy. We have not made it out the second round. The difference with the Eagles is Brandon Graham has actually done something for this city. I mean, he actually caused a fumble in the Super Bowl 52, against the greatest of all time in Tom Brady. And he helped us get our first Super Bowl ever. So I think he's actually did something for this city, not like Joel Embiid, who is a fraud, who I would actually probably trade for a crumble cookie, even though the crumble cookie man is gone. Cookie Monster over there in Detroit land, Tobias Harris, Tobas. But yeah, Embiid, I'm done with him, and it just sucks. But I think the difference is, yeah, the Eagles are just so. I think they realize, the players realize, like, we care mostly about the Eagles. Like every Sunday, we wait all week for this team to play, and it's just always anticipated, and it's always just like it gets our blood going and everything like that, our blood flowing, and it's different than the Phillies. It's different than the Flyers, the Sixers, even though the Phillies are exciting as heck. I mean, I know Ballpark's going to be like, oh, don't talk about my Phillies like that. But I'll say they're secondary to the Eagles. So, but that's what I got to say. Ballpark,
Joey, how about our guest opinion? How are you feeling about the whole disconnect between the Sixers and the Eagles?
I think, personally, I just think I think it's awesome that Brandon Graham feels that way for his team, and I think it's awesome that they have that connection and bond after what happened last year, obviously. And then just as far as like the Sixers and that whole mess, it's, I don't know. It's just, it's such a, as an organization, you need to be like put together and like professional, and like it's just not handled that well at all. And I feel like it's kind of the owner. I know I'm in the camp where I'm like, blame Josh Harris. He just needs to sell the team, because I think he's not fit to. He's running around taking care of the Commanders. He's got the Devils. Like, he does not care about this team or this city. And I think they need somebody in there that cares about this city, like the way even Jeffrey Lurie cares about this city and this team. And I don't think that their ownership cares about the city or the team at all.
Yeah, they need a Steve Ballmer. That's what they need. They need a Steve Ballmer, somebody who will actually invest in the team. He'll actually make a good stadium, and not just like stuffing in Chinatown and whatever they're going to do. So I think that's what the Sixers need. But I mean, I think he's going to stay the owner, and Comcast is going to keep on being the evil villains in this whole case. And that's what they are right now. They're villains, and they are just like overlording us. It sucks, but it's just how it is.
And it's actually a great segue. And Joey, like I said, you're more than welcome to hang out for the show because of everything you contribute to us. We appreciate the hell out of you once again. Guys, if you don't, please give Joey a follow. It's I ran out of ideas. Is it 26 or what's the number?
It's I ran out of ideas 1526, and then it's just my name, Joseph Havens.
There it is.
I do my
so you guys
I do
can
my
give
weekly
Joey a follow.
like keys to the game and stuff like that.
I was gonna say Thursday this week is when we can expect it.
So I'm gonna actually when like later tonight I'm gonna make the video for it and everything. I'm gonna try and post it tomorrow morning just so that way everybody can kind of see it, like because I feel like I've been posting it later on in the day and not as many people get to see it, but that way I'll post it Wednesday morning. And then I got something special coming Thursday, for Thanksgiving and everything. I think everybody will like it.
Are you gonna eat it? Are you gonna eat a turkey on in a video or something? Or
No,
on
nothing
a
like
live
No, it's
that.
a
turkey?
graphics.
It's an awesome
Oh.
graphic coming on Thursday.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna make a
Yes,
video of
KJ,
you
yes.
hunting down a
Get-
turkey or something with like
Get ready
no,
for
it's not fun.
charity. But this is actually a great segue, Joey. Thank you for calling in with that great question too. Our first topic of the night, which is just about how the Sixers suck as a whole. I mean, KJ.
You are now listening to KJ Court, proudly presented by the Sleeper.
And like Ballpark always says, that was a 7-foot rim. I know it was. All right. But yes, the Sixers, yes. I mean, it is a dumpster fire, just like how our buddy Shard showed at his apartment. He actually had a real dumpster fire, and he said, guys, look, it's the Sixers. So, yeah, shout out to him because he actually had the Sixers at his apartment complex.
We came to visit him.
Yeah, that's insane. So, the Sixers right now, it's insane because tomorrow we are taking on, I believe, the Rockets, and we are not going to have Joel Embiid or Paul George once again. This is just painful. We are the Painadelphia Sixers. That's all it is to it. The Painadelphia 76ers. And it's a sap story. But the one little horizon to all of this madness is Jared McCain. The guy is making history right now. He is the only rookie since Michael Jordan to average more than 25 points a game as a rookie. So that's the I guess you could say that's the one light in all of this stuff that we have. And it sucks. But I think for people though that are like, okay, I'm gonna give up on the Sixers, I want to give up on them because there are some lights at the end of the tunnel, and that is Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey. You got to build the team around those guys. And Embiid, I think they're honestly, if they're smart, which they're not smart, and Josh Harris is still the owner, as we said before, they could move on from Embiid this offseason. They can't trade him this season. I found out they cannot trade him due to the contract that they signed this summer, stupidly. And they paid for a guy who literally has knees that are made of bubble wrap. I mean, it's horrible. It sucks. And that's all I got.
Not even bubble wrap. It's glass, my guy.
Yeah,
bubble
glass.
wrap,
Yeah, glass. I just mean you could pop it, though. That's what I mean. You could pop it like bubble wrap.
Yeah. No, look, these Sixers, the only hope is Jared McCain and Maxey. And granted, it's early on in the season. But again, if we don't turn around before the All-Star break, this team is cooked. And they just don't seem to have much fire in their belly, other than Jared McCain, who is leading right now for Rookie of the Year. So it just goes to show I don't really care about the Sixers. I haven't cared for them for the past 5 seasons because they just bring nothing but pain and suffering to Philadelphia fans. So yeah, I'm done. Get rid of Embiid. He has overstayed his welcome. We don't need him anymore. We can build around Maxey and Jared McCain. That's all we got to do because, like we've said before, the last time the Sixers were a decent team and maybe could have done something is AI's rookie season, and we built around AI. It's not wild. You talking about Jimmy Butler?
That's just factually not true.
Yeah, we did not build around AI because AI barely ever had help. He never had help.
It's November basketball. Who cares?
Yeah, he never had help. Right, Ballpark? He never had help. Iverson
This
always.
is the equivalent of being 1 and 2.
He had Eric Snow and Aaron McKee.
And
Andre
George
Iguodala.
And a very washed Dikembe Mutombo who was on his last legs.
He was.
And years later, he had a washed Chris Webber, a washed Glenn Robinson. So he had some washed. Andre Iguodala, you could say was probably the best player to play with him, but he was young.
Yes.
This was young.
Oh, Josh! Oh,
it wasn't
sorry.
the finals. It wasn't the one that's blocking LeBron in the finals. Not that Iguodala. I mean, he was an amazing Iguodala if you think about it. He was almost winning a dunk contest. I mean, he was a great dunker for sure. But no, it was Iverson had no help. That's a problem.
Iverson had no help. Embiid really didn't have. Well, he did have help, and then we gave it away in Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler's cooked, buddy.
No, at the time when he had Jimmy Butler, he was not cooked.
Yeah, and
you
Jimmy Butler
tell me that year when they lost to the quadruple doink Raptors, he was cooked. Yeah. He was not cooked then.
He's not cooked.
He's cooked now. If we're talking in the year of our Lord 2024. Yes, Jimmy Butler is cooked.
What has Jimmy Butler done in the playoffs? Since
so actually, here's the thing.
He won a championship.
He actually went to 2 finals after he left the Sixers. He did. I know you don't want to count, and I don't really count either, the bubble. But he did make a finals appearance technically. He did. And then I think they went to the finals didn't they go to the finals another time as well?
Yes.
Yes, in 2023 they beat the Celtics.
Yeah. They beat the Celtics. Exactly. So, if anything, he left the Sixers and went to 2 finals. And he was always doing great in those playoffs.
Good.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's still good to this day. I would still go out.
This is the NFL. If you look at the numbers, this is the NFL equivalent of being 1-2 after week 3. Everybody calm down. Also, Paul George is old. I don't know why we signed him. Right.
I'm saying, we got to sign Jimmy Butler. We got to sign Paul George. We got to sign LeBron James. Why are we signing? Why are we looking at signing old all-star
LeBron
players?
would be a good move.
Because
he wouldn't.
We should have signed Bronny.
No, he sucks.
No, Bronny sucks.
But I'm saying we could have done it way differently, but we relied on old all-stars who haven't done shit. They're injury prone in the playoffs. They haven't really done much the past 3 years. And
James Harden too.
And James Harden and Jimmy Butler, we should have never looked at all-stars.
There's only one way.
The problem was we believed in Bum Simmons, and Bum Simmons couldn't even make a freaking layup, a wide-open layup.
We need to trade for Simmons to save the season. That would be sales at the ass.
Simmons needs to go back to Australia.
If people could bring back their jerseys. I don't think KJ has his anymore.
What, the Ben Simmons?
Do you still have it?
No, it's a smithereens in my backyard. It's burned. That shit's been burned for.
I like Ben Simmons. I think we need to trade for him.
If you still own a Ben Simmons Sixers jersey, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Why? What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong?
He did many things wrong. He's a bum.
One. Name one thing he did wrong.
Oh, what was I about to say? He literally passed up a dunk to literally get the lead in the game.
Trying to make a play, KJ. Trying to make a play.
That KJ's right on that one. That one was pretty inexcusable.
Havens, what do you think about these Sixers, real quick, and then we'll move on.
So, wasn't that the first and only time Simmons really messed up? First of all, I thought Simmons was good before that, and then we just trashed him out of town because of that. I thought he was doing okay, and then we just trashed him because he didn't take the shot.
His points per game went down. He got injured a little bit, and he couldn't shoot for shit.
And then he didn't want to hear what fans told him.
Yeah, and then he started being a baby. He literally sat out for a while.
We'll go ahead and let Joey take this one first, our guest, and then we'll pass it around. But Joey, I think you were the one a couple months ago who used the verb throttled. Throttled would have been the verb in one of the graphics you made. Throttled would have been one of the verbs that I would use to say how the Eagles beat the shit out of the Rams. I mean, it wasn't even close towards the end there.
No, it was they walked the dogs on the Rams, literally. And honestly, the beginning, it's close like usual. And then really what it's been all year, honestly, is the Eagles in the second half. They were even saying it on the broadcast, is they just pull away. It's unexplainable. Their defense is just locked down, and then their offense just hum-ho down the field and up and down, doesn't get stopped. And they just do what they want. And I mean, it's a big credit to Saquon Barkley and that offensive line, because that's really what the big machine making that offense go. But even Jalen's been playing really, really good. So it's just a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, they look really, really good. Tommy, how are you feeling about the Eagles' big win on Sunday night?
I thought it was electric. Saquon is the MVP. I'm literally sitting there like trying to be quiet because my girlfriend's sister fell asleep during the game as we're all sitting there. I'm like MVP, MVP. And like I don't think we've ever had a running back like this. Like you had Brian Westbrook, who was all 3 downs. You had Shady McCoy, who was all 3 downs. But you didn't have anyone who could like Brian Westbrook and Shady McCoy occasionally took over a game. Like I know we all can remember the Snow Bowl game against the Lions for Shady. And Brian Westbrook had that one game. I think it was like in 05 where he had a punt return, a receiving, a passing from a halfback pass.
Right?
Yeah, against the Giants. Like he took over that game. But like what Saquon's doing isn't just one game. It's week in, week out. Like I get a little frustrated in the first half sometimes with some of the decisions made. But then in the second half, Saquon makes it so easy for the coaching decisions. Like he can just take over. He pounded that defensive line to smithereens. And then he just ran all over him in the second half. And he did this week. He did last week. He did the week before that. He does it every week. And I don't want to hear this slander against Jalen that he's not throwing enough. He's just there to hit it off to Saquon. Stop. He threw for 70%. He had a passing touchdown that he threaded the needle to A.J. Brown. Sure, he didn't have a ton of passing attempts. But why would you have a ton of passing attempts when if I hand the ball off, I'm getting 70 yards on average practically? Hey, handing it off to Saquon, he had 2 70-yard runs. Why on God's green earth would I get angry if I pass it? You were angry that Sirianni wasn't running the ball enough. Now you're angry he's not passing enough, which hurts. Just do whatever works. And I will say, as much as I let me say this one last point, and then I'll give it off to someone else. I gave Sirianni a lot of shit. This was his best coach game all year, other than whatever the hell that last drive was going into halftime. I don't know. I don't know a single blunder he had this game. Like usually he has a few blunders throughout the game, and they're winning in spite of him. And I'm not even sure I can blame that last series on him. And for all the people giving him shit for not calling the timeout on that second that became 3rd and long, I think that was a smart decision, because if they get the 4th or if they get the 1st, then you just gave the Rams a free timeout at midfield. So
Tommy, you pissed me off. You know why?
Yeah.
Because out of all the people on the podcast, you were throwing so much shade at Sirianni. All fucking season.
And that's why I said I did.
Wait, commentate it right now.
As any other Eagles fan currently, oh my God, he's the best thing ever. Like, stop that bullshit. If you weren't riding with him at the beginning of the season,
he's the best thing ever. I just said that he had a good game coaching.
No, I'm not. I'm just a little annoyed because not at you, but just in general.
You're always annoyed on this show
because as 3 years? 3 years. This is his 4th season now.
3 years, 4th season. Yeah.
This is 4th season.
4th, yeah.
Out of all the seasons, we've been to the playoffs and we've been to the fucking Super Bowl with Nick Sirianni. We need to extend that contract for Nick Sirianni, because he now has his whole team. This offense and defense is playing with a well-oiled machine. I got very pissed off because now all these people just in general are like, oh yeah, ride with Nick Sirianni. If you weren't riding with him at first, you're not riding with him now. So stop that bullshit, because that's fake. That's some bullshit.
I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Nick wrong.
Here he is.
Right.
Tommy and this guy had lunch together. Jack, suck
Nick
it.
wrong. I hate that guy. Nick wrong. What a loser.
What I'm saying is,
what a loser he is. A hippie loser.
Sorry, going on my tangent, but like, we got to give also credit to Jeff Stoutland and the offensive lineman, because without that offensive lineman, I mean, you wouldn't see Saquon Barkley as successful as he is this season, right? And
Absolutely.
my biggest concern is for MVP. Like, obviously, he is worthy of winning it, but again, it's going to go to a receiver, but or not receiver, sorry, quarterback. But I think if he can get close to that 200 or 2,000 yard rushing season this year, he is going to be the MVP, right? Because since God created football, it's usually been a quarterback or another offensive player. So if he can get anywhere close to that 2,000 yard mark, yardage, I think he's going to be a clear-cut MVP. But yeah, I mean, this is a smackdown on the Rams. Questionable first half, and then we kind of tied down to the last 5 minutes in the second.
And then
quarter.
you know what pisses me off, Jack? These guys who say Nick Sirianni
It's going to be
gets
one of
it
those
wrong
podcasts,
right
JJ,
now.
where these two just go at it all night.
Absolutely.
I have a lot I want to say.
Say
Just
it, John.
absolutely fucking
Tommy, your
all
time's
night.
done. You're cut. You're cut.
Who cares?
His time just started.
Go ahead, Josh. Preach.
Uh,
Preach.
I don't want Saquon to win the MVP because I like going into the playoffs with that underdog mentality. I mean, that's
No, I know what it is, Zep. You made a bet on someone else. That's what it is.
I don't sports bet. So no,
Okay.
that wasn't it. I
Okay.
don't like being favored in the playoffs. I like having that
Definitely,
underdog
but-
mentality.
Josh.
At the same time, I mean, what do you want us to do? Fucking purposely
lose?
lose these games? Like,
Huh?
they're purposefully
No,
lose
he's
these
just saying he
games.
doesn't want the pressure. He's just
Are
saying he
you
doesn't want
stupid?
I know
No.
what Zepp's saying, but at the same time, like the Eagles,
No,
I don't want
no.
them to
If
stop
we go
momentum.
into the playoff, if we go into the playoffs as a 1 seed, like let's say we go in 14-3 and the Lions go in 14-3, but we get the 1 seed because of our divisional record, whatever, how that falls out. They're still gonna be like, oh, the Lions are better than the Birds. Okay, who cares? I don't want to have the MVP on my team because I want to be an underdog because we are a dog mentality.
That's cool and all, but it's not 2017 anymore. I'm tired of everybody.
Okay, who
just
won the
wanting-
MVP last?
You know
Who won
what?
the
We
MVP
need
last
a
season, Dalton?
story. I
Dalton,
gotta run
Dalton,
up
who
the
won the
rocky
MVP last
steps
season?
this morning
Dalton,
and
who won the
smack
MVP
myself
last
in the
season?
face. The point
Dalton,
I'm trying
who-
to make, and what I'm trying. All right, go ahead, Josh. Here, I'll let you
No,
finish.
no,
first.
no. You're wrong. Who won the MVP last season?
Josh, the
Lamar-
last time
Lamar
that the Eagles
Jackson.
were in the Super Bowl, they were a
Lamar
fucking
Jackson.
1 seed.
I know, and they were still
The last
doubted.
2 times, I should say, really. The
I
narrative of
didn't-
them being an underdog
yeah.
was pushed by themselves internally. They were, but it was
That's not
mainly
true.
us.
That's not
Like,
true. That's so not true. That's so
Yeah.
false. You sit on a throne of lies.
They were
Who won
still
the
a good
MVP last
team.
season was
They
Lamar
were
Throne
still
of
probably
lies,
the
you
best,
sit
third best
on,
team in the
Mr.
NFC.
Holland.
In my opinion, I don't want them to do that. And we can get into the next topic and still breach into
I
it a
didn't
little
get to talk
bit.
about the game. Damn it, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is what fucking happens when we all do. All right, hurry up. Go ahead. Give us a recap, Mac.
Jeez, what a bunch of weasels. But all right. So yeah, that was funny. I gotta say that was classic. and I
JJ,
love
shut the
seeing
fuck up and speak. God damn.
that. All right.
He's
All right.
moody tonight, isn't he?
Okay, so that was an amazing game by Saquon, obviously. And I mean, as we were saying before, though, the guy is on pace to maybe even beat Eric Dickerson's record for, I think, like all-time rushing yards in a season, I'm pretty sure. So if he does, I think, you know what, give him the MVP trophy. He deserves it. But honestly, though, usually it is a quarterback who wins it. But yes, this game was a bloodbath for us, and it was awesome to see them just go out to LA. We took over that stadium. I mean, LA Rams fans aren't real. They really aren't. They're a bunch of frauds because a lot of them, honestly, aren't even St. Louis fans. And St. Louis fans, they don't even actually identify as Rams fans anymore. They just pick other teams. So
Can
kudos
I
to
show
St.
something
Louis.
real quick that you brought that up? I'm actually really glad you brought that up. NFL Mike, I think, was the one who recorded this. So shout out to him. Does that look like an away game at all?
No, not at all. And that's how crazy it is. And we heard about this last time too when we went to LA. It's just I think right now LA hasn't had a football team. I mean, they've only had 2 pro NFL teams for like less than 10 years now. So they're still trying to establish themselves as a fan base, and some of them just don't show up. So I don't know where they're at. Some of them are in New York, like JJ Segalo. So yeah, so but JJ, we're sorry we stomped on your ass this weekend, bud. But those Lambs, we put them to sleep, bud. That's what we did.
So how are you guys feeling about some of the questionable calls, for lack of a better term?
Referee calls or play calls?
Referee.
Uh,
That was not
They're
pass
bullshit.
interference on Eli Rogers. That was horrible.
It's not Isaiah Rodgers, dumbass.
yeah, Isaiah Rodgers, not Eli.
Isaiah, Jesus.
Where the fuck did Eli come from?
I don't know.
Idiot.
Apple.
It's
Eli-
all right.
No, that
KJ
was
and I
really good.
called Bryce Huff, Josh Huff for the first like
Yeah.
5 weeks. I almost did a second
Yeah.
ago.
But also, like, I mean, that was just bad. I would like a better it helped us. I would like a better answer on what happened with the penalty accepted versus declined thing with Nick Sirianni. I would like to know if
Yeah.
they just assumed we were going to decline it or if they let us accept it afterwards, because that definitely seems sketchy. But I also think that the rest probably just assume we decline it. But I would like a better answer. And I think that, like, if this was a close game, that would definitely be brought up, like, this week in, like, reports and stuff. But because we start to, like, pull away at the end, I don't think anybody cares. But, like, that was, like, a major, like, changing point in that game. So,
But so
Yeah, no,
were
I
the
mean-
2 defensive pass interference calls that weren't defensive pass interference, Josh. Both of them were.
yeah, I don't care. Tom, I like the card stacked against me. I like to win when everything's against
Yeah,
me.
Josh.
Why? Why on God's green earth? I enjoy a nice, relaxing Sunday. I
No,
don't want
no.
Sunday scaries.
Sundays are the only time I feel anything.
No. No Sunday scaries.
Fucking
I
Josh
wanna
is
tell
an
you something.
underdog.
Yeah, Zeb
Have a
wants to
nice
shit his
breakfast.
pants. That's what he wants to do. He wants
Sit
to shit his
around
pants.
for 8 hours watching Sunday Red Zone, NFL Red Zone, and watch the Sunday night game in peace. Watch the Birds. Watch them kick ass. That's all I want.
That's all he wants.
He's
for
a simple
Christmas,
man,
Zep.
God damn it.
That's all he wants for Christmas, Zep.
You know what? These damn referees who are blinder than a bat, blinder than
Stevie
Josh
Wonder.
seeing the true path to a Super Bowl victory, blinder than
Stevie Wonder.
Jack not seeing it my way and that it is the better way in life. The NFL needs to do something about, like, they blatantly missed face mask call when it was Rams Vikings. I think in week 3 that ended the game because of that. They could have cost the Eagles if the Eagles were a more inferior team, those 2 pass interference calls, that's 14 points the referees gave them. And then they almost screwed up the fumble at the very beginning of the game. Didn't see. Thank God, somebody upstairs saw Nick Sirianni throw the flag. The refs didn't see the flag, the challenge flag thrown. Like, that's terrible. How do you?
I was
not
fucking losing
see
my
that?
shit in that moment.
Yeah,
like,
that was
probably like you
horrible.
were, Tom. Like, what the hell is going on as they were running that play? And thank God you're right. Like, somebody upstairs saw it, but that was so bad. And if you saw on our TikTok, there was a video too where I don't know if any of you guys saw Nick. Nick was hot.
He was fuming,
was
dude. I saw
pissed.
smoke out of his ears,
And
dude.
I don't like
loved
the
it.
whole animated Nick thing. I know I get on his ass about that you got to be a professional, but these are the moments when I want Nick Sirianni in full force in the ref's face. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Which is probably something along the lines of what he said. And Josh made a good point too earlier that if this was a closer game, this would have mattered a lot more. We would be talking about this all week. This would be something that people would be bringing up. And the scary thing is, my friends, is that we're going to have to play with this throughout the playoffs. So maybe, you know what, Josh? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I go back to the underdog take, and I'm with you. Because maybe just for the sheer factor of the fucking reps, maybe I want to be the underdog and not have the eye on me. Because, yeah, the NFL hasn't been good. The calls haven't been good. But let's let Havens take this one next. And I know we're all going to want to obviously take it because it's a super exciting topic. But Joey, the new MVP leader, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, he's been killing it this year, and I think it would be pretty cool if he wins the MVP because that would be the first Eagles MVP, and then he'd be a running back doing it, so it'd be like two like kind of not common things happening, and I think that'd be really cool. I think he's earned it, especially if he breaks the rushing record, like KJ said, he definitely earned it then. I think as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, this offensive line, they're going to block. They're going to give him the lanes and everything. He's going to get it. He's going to get the yards. So it's just a matter of who votes. And, I mean, the people voting for, like, I don't know, like Patrick Mahomes and, like, Jared Goff even, like, obviously you see Jared Goff, he threw 5 interceptions and his team still won. So he's not an MVP. I mean, Patrick Mahomes puts up mid numbers. His team's 9-10-1 or something. Like, yeah, they're good, but I think their defense is really the key to that team. Saquon really has changed this team, as you can see, because it's pretty much the same other than Saquon last year and then some defensive pieces. So he's really boosted this offense, and that is deserving of an MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely should be in the conversation of MVP. I know right now Josh Allen is leading MVP right now with I forget who's second behind, but I mean this is what we expected out of Saquon Barkley coming to Philadelphia because he had a breakout rookie season at the Giants, but then their offensive line got kind of shitty, and we have top 5 offensive linemen, top 2 maybe in the league, so we knew that he was going to be successful. And knock on wood, he hasn't been injured. And that's also key because, he's been plagued with injuries. So I think with having this offensive line, we are preventing him from getting some injuries. And, not even running the ball, just like getting open downfield for the pass from Jalen Hurts, as we saw that sideline catch where he dropped to his knees and got 2 feet in. Those are like smart players make smart plays. And I don't know. I just have seen a whole new Saquon Barkley this season, especially after him at the Giants. So I'm excited to see what happens with this season with Saquon Barkley and how the conversation goes from here on out with Saquon in the MVP running.
I think we were all scared when he went down early in that game, and then it turned out he just got hit in the nuts. So that was good.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Not good that he got hit in the nuts, but good that it wasn't anything.
Here he has a kid.
He's 2.
Hey, you never know if he wants to make, some more friends. But Tommy, KJ, how are you guys feeling about the whole thing?
I love it. I think he's absolutely the MVP. The whole thing, the whole narrative around it being a quarterback award, it kind of stinks though, because I feel like this is how Embiid didn't win his MVP. Like, if we want to switch topics a little, like, I know it's a little off topic, but this is how he didn't win his MVP for a few years. Oh, you have to have this, or based off of like some artificial like prerequisite that like people made up in their minds. He couldn't be MVP. And then all of a sudden, like, people even admitted, oh, I didn't watch him play, like, after the fact. Hey, I feel like that's a little bit what's happening with Saquon. They're like making up this artificial thing of, oh, it has to be a quarterback. Well, why does it have to be a quarterback? Like, nobody answers that question. Like, I get it. With traditionally, you always look at it as the quarterback is the bloodline of a team and the most important player of a team. I get that. But just like Jack said, and Jack, yes, I am agreeing with you for once. It's
wow.
I know, right? Like, this team is, we come full circle on this podcast. It's very holistic. Like, we're about wellness and well-being, Dutch. We started, like, our team essentially, when it comes to the offense, is the same as last year. We have a competent offensive coordinator this year, and our big addition was Saquon Barkley, who for years learned how to play very well in the NFL behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Now put him behind one of the best offensive lines in the league, and all of a sudden magic happens. So, like you can't even say, oh, well, he doesn't deserve MVP because he's got a good supporting cast. Lamar Jackson had a great supporting cast last year. Took a whole team to make him look like an MVP. He needed tight ends, he needed wide receivers, he needed an offensive line. Saquon just needs the line. So, all that being said, it's still probably going to go to Josh Allen, unfortunately, because, it's an MVP award. But that's just what it is. He is the MVP. He made this team go from a struggling, spiraling team to a Super Bowl contender one season later.
Tom's right. He took this team from a team that was asleep in a Super Bowl slump that looked hopeless. Basically, the fucking 49ers this year was the Eagles last year in the same exact scenario. See how full circle that is, Niners fans? Suck it. Had to throw that one in there. Anyway, point is, Tom, you made such a good point too. Oh, it's one of those kind of podcasts. But in all seriousness, Tom made a really good point that I never thought about. Saquon Barkley had to run behind one of the worst offensive lines and figure out how to kind of MacGyver and be a good running back through that. So now that he has like the best offensive line in the NFL, it's pretty much putting him on steroids. Not literally, but metaphorically. The run game for him, this is why he's having a historic season, why he's having these numbers through 11 games that we've never seen before. Playing like Eric Dickerson's card in Madden Ultimate Team of Madden 20. If you know, you know. But like, he's just a glitch, a video game, something that no Eagles fan, and possibly if this magical season goes the right way as it should, any NFL fan has ever seen before. So Santa Claus, all I want for Christmas is two things. I want to see an MVP in Midnight Green St. Nick. And most importantly, I want a Super Bowl. If I could pick one or the other, Super Bowl's one on the list. I want to be clear about that. And I know everybody else on this podcast feels the same way. But there's something to be said for an MVP in the NFL. It's just different. You have to be so dominating, I feel like, because there's 54 players on each roster and there's 32 teams. So when it's all said and done, there's a lot more than look at the NBA. Embiid won the MVP a couple years ago. And everybody on this podcast pretty much wants him out of there now. It feels different when you win the MVP in the NFL. What were you saying, Josh? Sorry.
I still want Envy, not to go back to Sixers. Don't count me into that.
Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. You're done.
But KJ, did you have anything you wanted to say about Saquon?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys pretty much hit on the head pretty much. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, Saquon, he doesn't have that good of a chance because I think him being a running back, but it could change though. We've seen Adrian Peterson be the last running back to win an MVP. And I said this to Dole today because I was talking to him hours before and we were just like preparing for the show. And I said this, like, I never thought, like, when I was younger, I always like saw Adrian Peterson just dominate for the Vikings. And I was like, oh, he's like the best running back in the league. Now we have one of those guys. And it's like crazy to think that. I mean, we did have Shady McCoy, but how Tom said before, though, I mean, the thing with Saquon, though, is he's like already the best Eagles running back of all time. That's what I think already. He's already showing that. He's already showing that he has the potential to do that. Just the way that he kind of represents himself. And then also just, I mean, our offensive line, we said this before too, the offensive line is also, it shows how good of an offensive line we have. I mean, we made Miles Sanders look like a Pro Bowl running back, which he really isn't. Sorry, Dole. I know that you love Miles Sanders still, but he's isn't.
Decent.
Yeah.
He's no Saquon, though.
We made him look like a super Pro Bowl superstar kind of running back. And then he helped us in to get to the Super Bowl. That was pretty cool. But he didn't have that good of a game. But with Saquon, though, I feel like he can actually help us get to that point and then actually be a big factor in that game. So hopefully we get there. I know a lot of people are talking about it, saying, "Oh, it's Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl." I'm kind of feeling like every time we talk about it like that, though, it's gonna bite us in the ass. So I'm kind of tired of people saying Super Bowl, because like it could bite us in the ass. Nick Sirianni is still our head coach, even though he's looking great right now, and we got to give him his flowers for sure. He still is the same guy that did have that huge collapse last year. So you always got to have that in your mindset. Like, it could actually fall. This could collapse, but hopefully not. I don't think it's going to, because you have a leader like Saquon Barkley on this team. So I don't think it's going to collapse, but you just never know, though.
So from KJ to KJ, obviously Brandon Graham's injury wasn't very, very good at all. The one thing that I know as a silver lining is it sounds like he might be back next year. He did announce at the beginning of this year, I don't know if anybody remembers that or if I'm going crazy, that this would be his last year. I remember that. And on WIP today, he sounded like he still might be back. But for right now, whether he's back later in the year and can play in the Super Bowl, or whether he's back next season, you still got to prepare for the worst. And I just want to say shout out to BG having a great historic season. But from KJ to KJ, the Eagles are preparing for the worst already. Leave it to Howard the fucking day after. Sign somebody. But KJ Henry, how are you feeling about this move?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much. What I know about him is that he was drafted in the 5th round by the Commanders. I think, like, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he was drafted. And then he got released by the Commanders. The Cowboys picked him up like last month, and then they released him. So I think the Eagles, apparently he's a practice squad player. So I don't know if he's actually going to be bumped up or not. I mean, there's a chance he might. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, you got a big pair of shoes to fill if you're going to replace or try and fill that void that BG is leaving right now. As Dalt said before, it was such a tragic thing to hear, especially like no one knew. I mean, we were all coming off the great high from that game. I mean, we saw Saquon just like go off on the Rams and just honestly take over Los Angeles. And we didn't think anything about Brandon Graham at all. Obviously he had a great game, but we didn't think he was injured. Nobody knew that. And then we hear that, oh, he's out for the season. We're like, wait, what are you talking about? And it really sucks because, yeah, this was supposed to be his last season. And I think he really wanted to finish off on top. And now it seems like maybe he'll have a shot to do that next year instead. So we'll see what he does. I hope he makes the right decision. I'm not saying, oh, come back. That's the right decision. No, the right decision for you and your family. That's what I mean by that. So if you got to retire, hey, go enjoy your time with your kids and your wife. Go do that, because I think that's what it's all about. So if you play in the NFL since 2010, I mean, you have the most games in Eagles history. I mean, the longest lived Eagle ever in Eagles history. So I think BG, crazy, awesome career. And it's very sad to see him maybe go out like that, but I hope not.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this fucking sucks big time. We also got Charles Harris from the Panthers, and Charles Harris was drafted in 2015.
He was drafted in 2017. He's like 5 picks behind Derek Barnett.
Yeah, and I was listening to the radio today, and they were saying that Charles Harris kind of was in the conversation with Derek Barnett when we expected to see, him break out. His rookie season didn't really happen. But, I mean, these two players, I think, again, it's going to be tough to fill in the role of BG. But at the same time, it's the next man up. I've been saying this all year with the injuries we've had, next man up. And I think, with BG still being there and he can kind of coach these guys on, what to look for, how to, bring pressure, things like that. So I think, again, this sucks that he's out for the season. But at the same time, he can still be on that sideline kind of coaching these young guys and kind of show them the ropes. And I really hope he doesn't come back for another season, because that man has done a lot for this team, for this city. And I think, we give him his roses, and that's only by winning this game. We're winning the Super Bowl for Brandon Graham, because, like you said, the mission's still the mission, and that mission is winning the Super Bowl. And I think it'll be bittersweet to see these Eagles hoist the Lombardi Trophy up with BG on stage, and kind of ending his career like that.
Yeah, sucks for BG. I'm happy he's going to stay involved, be a leader. But I really think there's only one free agent that the Eagles need to sign that would honestly make a big splash. And they're actually related to somebody on the podcast. I think Ryan Kerrigan's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Yeah.
That was a Jordan joke. No, they need to sign Jason Pierre-Paul yesterday. That's actually what they need to do. I don't care if he's 36. I don't care if he has 7 fingers. I think that's the move. That's the move.
Are you sure you're not talking about Shaq Barrett?
No, Shaq Barrett. No, definitely not. No, I want Jason Pierre-Paul.
JPP.
I want JPP.
I'm with Josh.
I want JPP. We're going to have a team full of ex-Giants, and we're going to win the Super Bowl.
That'd be funny.
Is this
And
because
really make John
your
Barrett.
family of Giants fans?
Look at the available edge rushers. JPP is old. He's 36. He's a free agent. He's not retired. He's actively working out.
Michael Parsons for a 7th-round pick. Who
That's
says
great.
no?
Deadline's over. Deadline's over. Can't do it.
Yeah, the deadline's over, I guess. But I think what the biggest thing that I like the Eagles are doing is they have contingency plans. Fall back. Who I really think it's going to be real quick, and then we can kind of move on to the next topic. We'll kick this next one to Joey. But I think it's going to be Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat is somebody who's kind of been kicking it up recently for the Eagles. He started off slower, and now he's kind of being like, I think he kind of looked around and was like, oh, shit. I was expecting Huff to kind of be the top dog, and now I got to kind of be the top dog. And now he's adjusted to that. Vic Fangio, I think, has learned what works for Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat has learned what works in Vic Fangio's system. And with all that being said, I think that Josh Sweat is somebody that will probably emerge as the Eagles' primary pass rusher. But moving along now to our next topic. So late at night when you guys aren't, watching us, of course, no, I'm kidding. But when you aren't watching whatever you watch at night, you fucking weirdos, you can watch Jason Kelce's new show on ESPN. So the other night, he revealed that he's going to be having a show on ESPN called, they call it Late Night on ESPN starting in January. That'll just kind of be like a sports podcast show, a general, similar to New Heights, I would imagine, but his format broadcasted to the world on TV. It will also apparently be filmed right here in Philadelphia, which is pretty exciting. So it'll be cool to see where the studio goes. I think I've heard that the show should also be a weeknight thing, which would be crazy if he's doing this every weeknight or if he's doing this weekly to be able to see Jason Kelce that often. And the other thing I wanted to say, and then we'll kick it to Joey, how about a workhorse mentality? This guy just is nonstop since he's retired. I have not seen him take a break. It's been brand deal after brand deal after brand deal after brand deal. It's definitely not about the money for Kelce. It's about the legacy. And he is certainly leaving one. Joey?
Yeah, he's definitely building his legacy. I mean, he's already really built it as a player. Now he's just trying to build it as, I want to say, somebody in the community, because he's definitely done a lot for the community, like over his course of his career. But now he's trying to branch out, and even keeping his show in Philadelphia just kind of shows how much he loves the city in general. I really think he's doing well for himself. He's doing well for his family, and he's enjoying what he's doing. You can obviously tell that. So as long as he's happy, I mean, can't be nothing but happy for him.
I have a hot take. Surprise, Seth has a hot take. I love Jason Kelce. We're seeing too much of the guy. Okay. What's he going to talk about on this show? Like, he has a podcast. He does ESPN. I don't care
Jack
what he
is fired up right now. You should have just seen the look on his face. He was pissed that you said that. He's like, what the fuck do you mean? Kelce's speaking.
I only want Jason Kelce to talk about Eagles stuff. So he's not talking about Eagles stuff. Like, I really don't like. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Sorry.
He's an icon.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Icon living motherfucking man.
Icon. You know why icons are icon? Like they're kind of like hiding.
He is still trying to be involved in football and in the media
but this show isn't going to be about that. This show is going to turn into like, oh, this is what I did.
Josh, it's going to be a new Scott Van Pelt show. Scott Van Pelt is going to lose to Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce is going to kick some ass. And Kylie Kelce is coming on the podcast too as well.
That's fine.
So I don't know why you're a hater.
I'm not a hater.
What do you want him to do? What do you want him to see him do?
I'm retired. If I was retired,
He wants to see him chill. He wants to see him honestly sit down and chill for a second.
Be with his kids. Yeah.
Well, he is with his kids.
Yeah, he's with his kids a lot, I think.
I just think
he doesn't.
I would be able to beat you in golf if I was retired.
Here we go. Wouldn't be. He's the kind of guy right now where he's not showing off when he's having his downtime. 2 reasons. Number 1, he's not like that. Number 2, he doesn't want people fucking flocking wherever he goes. Like Stephen Cookies this summer when Kylie Kelce got into it with that one lady that was saying that Jason was, a jerk off because he wouldn't take a picture with her, and then she stood up for their family. But he doesn't want people, I think, flocking, to the area because trust me, they will. They will. But I think he just kind of wants his privacy. So the more, the better. I'm with Jack. I mean, I'd rather see Jason Kelce talking about these things than somebody like fucking Chris Collingsworth or somebody else that's extremely annoying. And you got to love Kathleen. Shout out to Eagles Mania. If you guys aren't, join the Eagles Mania Facebook group. But saying that Zeppelin is drinking a tall glass of haterade. Hold on, Zepp. Before you get to that, I want to do this real quick and then we can get to it.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Ready to take for that sponsorship. It's football season. No fees at all. Josh has the question tonight.
I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know.
It's okay if we don't have one. It's a Tuesday anyway. I mean, I didn't know if you had one. That's why I hit it anyway. If we don't, we can pick back up with it next week because I don't have the score. So
yeah, move on.
We'll move on. I get called a hater a lot.
Everybody gets a point this week for Thanksgiving. It's just like elementary school.
You got a turkey.
But Joey, we'll let you go ahead and take this one first, and then we'll pass it around. But headed down to B-More. Are the Eagles going to be more in B-More, Joey?
I think so. I think the Eagles are the better team. I mean, I don't necessarily think it'll be like what just happened on Sunday night. I think it's going to be a grounded out, like fight to the end, like battle. But I think ultimately the Eagles they're going to come out on top. I think it's going to ultimately come down to whoever has the ball last. But I think that'll be the Eagles. I think that they're ready to. I think this will be really the game that kind of like really shows and cements to like everybody else around the league that like the Eagles are legit, and if they can win this, which I think they can, it'll put the league on notice a little bit.
Yeah, I may this is gonna be tough in my relationship. My girlfriend is an Eagles fan, and I'm sorry, I lied. She's a Ravens fan.
We're the Eagles.
Yeah, we're the Eagles fan. And I cannot wait to just rub it in her face. I love her to death, but she thinks that the Eagles are gonna get waxed by the Baltimore Ravens. I say no. So I can't wait to have some fighting words with her. I probably won't talk to her at all that whole night, the whole day, whole afternoon, because when my birds are playing, a beast comes unleashed, and I don't want to put that on her. So, but anyway, this is going to be a big game. We got this game, and then we have the Steelers after the Panthers. So this is kind of where we make our mark on that we're a legit team, that, we can take it to them. The Ravens haven't been playing that great of football. They won by, I think, a touchdown or 2 last night. But they looked horrible. I mean, Chargers aren't a bad team, but I mean, if we can stop Derrick Henry, if we can stop Lamar Jackson on the run, this is curtains for the Ravens.
Very similar teams, where they want to run the ball. I will say that I do think the Eagles probably have a better defense than the Ravens, and even with the BG injury, I think the Eagles D line is kind of where you're going to see the difference on Sunday. But not having BG is definitely going to hurt that quarterback contain because you basically have one side of the D line open now for it to kind of run out on. So I think we'll do okay stopping Derrick Henry. But I think our issue is going to be when Lamar drops back, we're going to get so much inside pressure from Carter, Davis, Milton Williams. But the one side's going to be open. So I think we're just going to see. I think we can score in that defense, though. I think that defense is not that defense is not as good as it was last year. But it'll be a good game. It's a good game.
And I think, for a four down drive, we got to put a QB spot on Lamar at least twice, maybe. Put a fast guy out there. But yeah, I mean, this team isn't as good as they were last year. So I think we're going to see the true colors come out against the Ravens with, kind of expose the Ravens this game.
I'll say this. I think it's going to be an exciting battle. And really between the two monsters of their monster and Derrick Henry and our monster in Saquon Barkley. I mean, those guys are both tearing up. I mean, they're the two best running backs in the league. We thought that Derrick Henry was going to land with the Cowboys and we were going to have an NFC East battle of the running backs, but the Cowboys are just too stupid to even try and sign him. He even wanted to go there, but nope. Sorry, the Ravens get him instead. So we get to see this matchup. So suffer, Cowboys fans. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, I think this is going to be a really intense matchup. I mean, it's going to be exciting. I mean, to just kind of compare the rushing yards between Derrick Henry and Saquon. And then, I think they're going to anticipate the run game a lot, but that also gives us a chance to use the passing game as well. So I think AJ and getting Devontae back, hopefully, I think he's supposed to play. That'll be awesome to see him back out there. But I think this is going to be a close game for sure. I do not think it's going to be like a blowout. I do think the Eagles do win this game, but I'm going to say by like a field goal. I'm probably going to say like something like 31-28. It's going to be a high-scoring game.
Tommy?
Dutch.
I love when you say Dutch.
There's
It's
been a
usually about to be
narrative
a good
that's been
take.
started
Dutch.
of the Eagles haven't played anyone. Dutch. There's a narrative that's been started by the national media. We all hate them because they hate us, including that fraud Nick Wright, who put on an Eagles jersey. Nick Wrong, exactly.
Yeah, Nick Wrong. That's his name, Nick Wrong.
Down on the Eagles year in, year out, has called them frauds the whole way. All of a sudden wants to put on their jersey. He's the biggest fraud of them all. They said going into Washington that was going to be our first measuring stick game. We crushed them. All of a sudden it's Washington's no good. That wasn't a measuring stick game. Then we go out to LA. Oh, it's tough to go out to LA. Eagles aren't going to have a good game out there. Then Eagles trounced them. They didn't just demolish them. They made them look. They didn't even make them look like the little sisters of the poor. They made them look like newborn babies, Dutch. And yet, that didn't count. They're not that good. They're only 5-5. Hey, Baltimore going into the season was projected to be a Super Bowl contender. They had some slip ups this season, yes, but I still think that they are a contender. If the Eagles win this week, can we finally put to rest that they haven't played anyone good this season? And can we? Hey, that's
who
what
else
I
could
see.
they say?
Steelers.
I know, seriously. So, all that being said, I think this is going to be a big Jordan Davis game. Like, if Jordan Davis shows up, I think the Eagles are in good shape. He's their run stopper. Baltimore relies heavily on Lamar's legs and Derrick Henry, obviously. I would rely on Derrick Henry too. Jordan Davis needs to be that guy. He needs to be a bad man this week. If Jalen Carter gets double teamed again, I need him to just be a run stopper. I need him to be the biggest clog I've ever seen. I need him to be more clogged than a toilet after damage rank has been done with it, Dutch.
Oh my
I
God.
need
All
that
Roto-Rooter.
hole clogged out of Jordan Davis.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who's this guy we're talking about? Nick who?
Nick Wright, or
Nick
as KJ calls
Wrong.
him, Nick
Wrong.
He's a reporter for Fox Sports and, a commentator. And he just, his job is to essentially, they're like, hey, you have an annoying face. Your job is basically to bash Philadelphia because we know we'll get comments out of it.
Well, he's
I
also
could do
a
the same thing
bandwagon-
for Dallas if y'all are hiring. I'm just saying, but
Well, he's
we're
also a
gonna
bandwagon
bring the
Chiefs fan.
boom and be more is what's going to happen. I'm excited for this game. We're trying to go down there if we can. We'll see, but it should be a good matchup. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Stephen Clark in the house. What's going on, man? I appreciate you. I see you coming to hang out. But yeah, it's going to be a really good game, I think. I know you guys are all talking about the matchup of the monsters between Barkley and Henry, but I'm really excited to kind of see this matchup between Lamar and Jalen as well. I think when people take their eyes off the run game, the passing game is going to be something that is definitely overlooked going into the game. But viewership-wise, I think that we could see a couple passing touchdowns. Like Jack said, Jalen Hurts had that sneaky throw to A.J. Brown where he threaded the needle. He's had a couple of them, really, I should say a lot of them throughout the year. Each game, he has a throw where you're like, wow, and it's like a 40, 30-plus yard pass. I could see there being a longer throw when people least expect it. Jahan Dotson first touchdown as an Eagle. Book it, mark it. I think it's going to happen. It's going to be expect the unexpected in this game. Saquon Barkley, look, everybody knows what the Eagles want to do. And also, if the Eagles are smart, they're going to start to slowly take the foot off the gas pedal with how much they utilize Saquon. I still want Saquon to go out and beat Dickerson's record. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want Saquon to go out and beat Dickerson's record if it means he's going to be beat to shit or injured or not playing the same way once we get to January for playoff football. So excited for it, but I want to also see the Eagles start to be a smarter team, start to get in playoff mode because it's 4 weeks away. It's going to be here before we know it. And I want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward.
Another storyline on this game. It's kind of taking a back seat. You got two really good kickers who are not having their good seasons.
Oh, yeah, true.
But
Justin
Elliott
Tucker.
was perfect last week.
Tucker missed one, I think.
Yeah, Tucker missed one.
Yeah,
But
Tucker's
just something
been
to think
missing
about.
some.
Special teams. If it comes down to special teams, two normally reliable kickers.
Special teams, special plays. Special teams, special plays.
R.I.P. Sketch.
Enough out of you.
Wait, he's dead?
No, just nobody talks about him anymore.
No. Yeah, and this is going to be a dominated game from the Eagles. As the first whistle blows, I'm going to be cheering and cheering and cheering, texting my girlfriend, hey, the Ravens suck. She's going to be fuck
Yeah,
you,
love
whatever.
you.
But, this is
bit,
going to be a
man.
great game. This is our one of our biggest tests this season. Then we have the Steelers in 2 weeks, which they lost to the Browns, but it's a divisional game. But yeah, this is going to be where we kind of separate ourselves from the pack and show them that we're a legit team, that Nick Sirianni is not a bum, that Saquon Barkley is the MVP, that Jalen Hurts is a contender for possibly MVP, this season, maybe. But yeah, this is going to be a pissing match for sure. It's going to be fought in the trenches. I mean, it's going to be a run-heavy game. I mean, Lamar Jackson can't do shit throwing the ball deep. He had that one nice toss to Bateman last night. Touchdown to Bateman. And now, Josh, he looks first to run. But yeah, this is going to be a big test for us for sure. But I think the Eagles win 35-21.
Woo! Anybody else want to give a score prediction before we wrap up here?
I think that's a good score.
I like it. Yeah, I'm with it. And like I mentioned as well, KJ and I are actually going to be trying to go down to Baltimore if we can. We're still not sure if we can, but
Anyone
if there's
got
a
extra
will,
tickets, let us know.
Anybody has an extra
Let us
ticket
know.
or tickets, let us know. We're trying to get creative because this is going to be
We'll hook you
such
up
a
somehow.
great
We'll hook you
game.
up.
If it's snowing, I'm going to figure out a way to go because I won't want to miss that. This
I
is
don't
going to
think
be
there's snow in the
historic if it's
forecast,
snowing.
Colt. I don't think there's snow in the forecast.
I haven't looked at the forecast yet, but if there's snow, I'm going to definitely be going because it will be, like I said, historic. But if you guys haven't, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All those things help us out a ton. I appreciate the hell out of everybody who joined us tonight. And yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully at the Ravens game. But Jackson, go ahead and take us out of here.
Yeah, no. Fuck you, Josh. Josh is an asshole. He's an asshole. But yeah, no. Hey, Josh.
Get back here, Josh.
Hey, Josh, it's an outro, not a fucking intro. But before we do that, happy Thanksgiving from here at 302 Birds. Wish you happy and merry holidays or whatever you want to call it.
What will we?
Enjoy the time with your family. It's important. So God bless you guys. And hey, Josh, one last time. It's an outro, not an intro. That motherfucking outro.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.